This is Betsy Palmer, and I'm not sorry that I lost my head. It's been worth every moment of it.
All right, and we're joined by Warrington Gillette. Welcome back to Without Your Head.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
How you doing?
Everything's cool up in New York City, beating the streets.
Excellent. Let everybody know that you're going to be at the Horror Cinema, and that's going to take place November 30th and December 1st, and that's in Hagerstown, Maryland. And for more information, you can go and check out our MySpace, and we'll have some information up there. You can check out our website. Do you enjoy doing these these festivals?
Yeah, I think they're fun. You kind of get the point of view of the fan, and it's nice to see them, talk to them, have a drink with them. It's very flattering that somebody wants a picture of you with your signature on it. Mm-hmm. You always leave in a great mood.
What's the most requested thing to get? What do people request the most? The autograph.
Well, you got to really realize that it's all about the face, the Jason face. That's really what people want. It's not like it really was at my likeness and had some big acting role that everybody could relate to. So, they want a picture of the likeness of Jason Vorhees. That's who they like. So consistently they want it. They just want you to sign it. It's a little collector item, memorabilia. And the universal question is, oh my God, how long did it take to put that on? How long did it take to make that face? Who made that face? Oh my God. And you got to give them credit. If people are still talking about it 20-some years later, they did a good job.
Yeah, at least no one just comes up to you and says, wow, you get a lot of work done. You look a lot better than you did in the movie.
Yeah, a lot of work done. Spent some time in the dentist's office.
Did you have a question, Ryron?
Yeah.
Oh, go on then, sorry.
Yeah, old Jason had some gnarly teeth.
Did you save any of that stuff?
I did for a number of years, but I had it in a box, and oddly enough, I'm living in Malibu, and the goddamn Santa Ana winds kicked up, and before I knew it, my place was engulfed in flames. Everything I had burned up. So,
oh no,
I lost a bunch of my stuff, and the denture plates that they made for me, some of the clothes. And I had hung on to it probably for 10 years going into the fire.
Yeah, really.
But those damn fires keep kicking up.
Yeah, that really sucks because you can never replace those, obviously.
No, but we got a lot of memories, got a lot of memorabilia, and as I said, it's shocking. There are people looking at it for the first time. People 17, 18, they go, oh my God, it's crazy.
Do you think?
Well, where did Jason start? I mean, a hockey mask is a hockey mask, but it's more interesting to get that mask off and really see what does this man look like.
Yeah, people want to see. Yeah. Do you think some of the other sequels kind of kept true to what he looked like in the early films?
No, I think the franchise just went on its own course, and it got crazy, it got unplausible. He's in outer space, he's getting shot 100 times, and it doesn't even feel it. Now you're starting to make him cartoon-like, where back in the days of Camp Crystal Lake, he was plenty scary, because he was real, very plausible, and that's when something is scary. When you make him a cartoon, well then, kids are laughing at it, and when I'm a kid looking at some Hitchcock films, there was nobody laughing at all.
Do you think that's a difference in the audience today? Because a lot of times if people laugh, during a horror movie at places where you're supposed to be scared instead of, screaming.
Yeah, I don't get that. I think people, and oddly enough, in the way the world is going on now with all these conflicts and Americans dying and human suffering going on, I mean, people want to go to the theater and they want to see it, and they want to pay. They want to see humans, suffering and getting killed. Like the success of Saw. I mean, it's shocking. You know, and then they laugh, and then they clap, and they think it's funny. I mean, I'm the old school. People pay, they want to get scared, they want to scream, and, you know, I love the classics that you know, scare you by doing nothing.
It's actually in the book 1984. There's actually, when they go to the theater, it's basically just all violence, and the whole theater is laughing and cheering.
I know, I don't get it. I'm another generation. Right. You know, Rob Zombie, Devil's Rejects. I mean, Dawn of the Dead, and these zombies are crawling out of the earth and running around, and they're slugs, they're worms. I mean, what happened to the birds? Right. You know. What
do you think makes Jason such like an enduring villain? Why he's lasted so long?
Well, that's a good question, because they certainly hit this formula right on the head. You know, I don't quite know, but the character just has longevity that's shocking, and maybe it's got a unique name, you know, Friday the 13th. Everybody sort of knows that's a scary day. So Friday the 13th will keep coming until we're all dead and gone. They'll keep coming. So I think that the date is kind of interesting, and then this character, you know, this killer, it's just, I can't explain it. It's got a whole lot of elements that intrigue people.
Are you familiar with the Crowley legend?
No.
Because they say, you know, that's actually what the Jason character is based off of. It's like a real legend in New York. And the movie The Burning and Madman were also based off the same legend.
Yeah, there was another true story that was going on in Texas, and a guy was a serial killer running around with a potato sack on his head with one hole in the eye. So I forget the name of the film that got made a long time ago that dealt with that, but I know that was somewhat the foundation of this character.
More just the look-wise, you know, probably. Yeah.
I guess, you know, thought he drowned, but grew up in the woods. Guy growing up in the woods, that's
definitely, because, you know, that's something that people always...
everybody's worst fear, to be lost in the woods and have to live out there.
Have you ever met anybody that says, like, that's a bad stereotype of people who do live out in the woods? No, okay.
Never. I've never even heard anyone criticize Jason, except they criticize some of the later ones where they say it's like a joke, like it's ridiculous. You know, like, how come he can't be killed if you burn him or shoot him 1,000,000 times, or, you know, how come he can't die? Mm-hmm. I go, well, I don't
know. I think, I mean, once you shoot a guy up into space, I think you pretty much run out of ideas.
Yeah, Jason going to hell, Jason going here and going there, and hey, you know, I think we got to take a few steps back and go back to basics.
Do you think you could, or do you think they would just have to do like a remake, kind of like they did with Halloween?
Yeah, I think you got to remake it. You know, history always repeats itself, and it trends, particularly in fashion. And you'll go back and you'll reinvent a certain style, a certain way of doing things, and you just revisit it, and it's all of a sudden exciting once again. I mean, there are films I see all the time that take a little bit from each, like this Taking Lives, Angelina Jolie. They stole parts from a lot of the classics in that. So I don't know. I personally think they got to go back to basics. Yeah. Make him scary.
Put him back in the woods.
Yeah, back in the woods, and you know, let the mayhem continue.
Were you surprised by the success of the Halloween remake?
Yep, absolutely.
Were you?
Absolutely, and I'm happy for Rob Zombie that he did so well.
You think that'll you know, help? I guess they're already planning on a remake of Friday the 13th.
Yep, I think they all help each other. There's a lot of synergy in that genre. You know, whether it's Freddy, whether it's Jason, or Mike Myers. You know, it keeps people moving.
Do you think
Keeps them moving, keeps them pumping.
When they remake the movie, do you think they kind of remake it the way the original one was, where it's a mom? Or do you think they'll kind of be think that they have to have it with Jason Vorhees in it because that's probably what most people will be expecting?
Oh yeah, they got to keep Jason Vorhees in it. He's the foundation of the brand, for sure.
Yeah, I just think people would feel, even though the original one is about the mom, I think if they remade that one and made it about the mom, I think a lot of people would be, they'd feel like ripped off or. Because I don't think a lot of the fans. Well, I'm sure they realize it is the original one's about the mom, but I think some of the younger fans, really just think about Jason when you think of Friday the 13th.
A lot of the new fans don't even know he had a mom. They don't even know why. One guy asked me the other day, well, why is Jason killing everybody? Why? And he goes, well, I don't know why, but I sure as hell like watching him doing it.
That's all that really matters.
He had a mother, and the mother,
Right.
whatever. Never even knew it. There's a guy like 26 years old, follow the brand, never knew. But, go back 20 years, I mean, people are fired.
Yeah. Oh.
They don't know.
Do you think like DVDs and I guess VHS first, but DVDs really help keep these movies alive and let like a new generation find them?
Yep, absolutely. And the quality, and then when Paramount introduced the DVD box set, then people could see, the making of them, interviewing some of the characters that all participated in it. And then you'll see these trailers in the front of the DVD. So that kind of brings people up to date on the making of them all. As opposed to just trying to go to the store and getting an old VHS that's 20 years old. Now, they had to re-release it on the DVD with a little history so it all makes sense to you.
Yeah, that box set is pretty nice. I wish they would have had like the commentary track in all the movies. I think there's only 2 of them that actually have the commentary.
Right.
Are you surprised that like DVDs now have making of and like show so much behind the scenes? Do you think that takes away anything from it, or just makes you appreciate the movie more?
No, I think people like to see it. It adds another dimension. It helps cultivate the brand, the story, the process. And it's happening. A lot of the big guys are all doing it. With everything from Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings,
right.
All of them.
Did you have something, Warren?
Yeah, already in this interview you've mentioned Alfred Hitchcock, and in past interviews you've been very kind towards him. He obviously had a different style than we see in cinema today, but how did he influence you?
Well, I'm a fan of his. I guess he first influenced me by scaring the hell out of me when I'm a kid. And he could scare you by doing nothing. So then you get, then you have something really to worry about. And then you found ways where you could apply it in your life, whether it be taking a shower in a house out in the country or you'll always find yourself in one of those spots where you will have cause for alarm. I don't know. I think Silence of the Lambs, was very Hitchcockian. I've written and currently producing a film, Bloody Social, and I'm trying to take a few pages out of his book of how something can be scary and have some more depth of character woven in the storyline. So, yeah, I'm a fan, and interesting, he used to, his favorite place to sit and write is one of the most beautiful spots in the world above Milan, up at Lake Como. And he'd stay at this gorgeous hotel called Villa d'Este. And he'd sit out there and look over the lake and get very creative.
Is Bloody Social something you've wanted to do for a long time, to actually make a movie?
I've been wanting to do it a long time, and I kind of been developing it for a couple of years. And then we've been talking about it at various film conventions and, getting very positive feedback from the fans. And so, I've never produced a film before, so it's been a big challenge for me to kind of create the project, write it, develop it, and then go out and try to raise some money independently from investors and people to make the film. So, and it's next to impossible to do that if it's like your first film, which I'm sure you can
yeah, definitely.
appreciate.
Did you have something else, Ryan?
So what is the premise of Bloody Social?
Well, the premise is, unfortunately, it's a psycho thriller that's loosely based on a true story. And so you have it's the little man against the big man in America's richest town. It's called Bloody Social, and so the film takes place in Palm Beach, the most social, most corrupt place in this country. And a very wealthy tobacco heiress, she kills her husband so she can run off and marry her young Italian stallion lover. And she's protecting her fortune, so she didn't want to get divorced. So she kills her husband, goes to the south of France, marries the Italian, comes back to town. So the story is about the son who's on a mission of revenge and truth and justice. And at this time they picked the wrong guy to whack and sweep under the rug. And there were some conspirators involved. So it's a story about how the son deals with this and what is the pathway for him to serve up justice.
Do you have a website for people to find more information about the movie?
Yeah, I do. The website is the name of the film, all one word, BloodySocial.com.
All right, we'll put that right up on the website for everybody too.
And BloodySocial.com, and you'll like looking at the website. It's kind of wild and crazy. Unfortunately, on a personal level, the person that died, we feel was killed, was my father, and he died on Friday the 13th a few years ago. And so, obviously the town do not want us to make the film. They do not want us to uncover this case. They do not want us to have an autopsy on the body to determine the cause of death. So it's going to be highly controversial.
Is the date then kind of bittersweet for you, since it's the movie you made, but it's also the date your father died?
It is bittersweet, but in life, when you take a hit, you got to turn a negative into a positive. So whatever you do, you can't complain. You got to get up. You got to do something about it. And so my particular choice was, fine, I'm going to create a piece of art. I'm going to make my own money, and hopefully it could be a catalyst for justice. So you'll create something, and then also I'm convinced that she's going to get busted for the crime.
Everybody knows, again, that you're going to be at the Horror Cinema. It's going to be November 30th and December 1st, and that's in Hagerstown, Maryland, at the Best Western Grand Venice Inn Hotel. And we'll have some more information up on the website how you can get tickets. And it's pretty good. It's like $15 a day or $20 for both days. What do you think of? Yeah. What do you think about the kind of like the comeback of slasher films?
I think it's great. I think it could be a reflection of the sign of the times. I don't know, but it's interesting the psyche of these audiences that want to go and watch and get some relief, and they're successful. It's in a hot genre.
Do you think maybe like the directors, because now that they're around 30, it's kind of the generation that grew up on like the Friday the 13th films, and now they're kind of not remaking, but making movies that based off like what they liked as a kid? I guess maybe they're recognizing that they could be made for smaller budgets. You don't need a $25 million star to be in it, and they can hit levels of profitability quickly, and obviously the market's there. So create the product, create it for the lowest amount possible, and hopefully you can develop a brand. Have you seen Hatchet? Oh, well, no. The character in that, Victor Crowley, is, a lot of people are considering that might be like the next, kind kind of, the next big slasher character. And if you watch, you can see where Adam Green, who directed it, was a fan of the Friday the 13th films, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Makes
What was that?
homages. He makes definite homages to your work and to that character, the character of Jason.
I'm thinking of having I have a public company out there that wants to acquire my production company, and so I'm thinking of them making the shares that are public available to fans, maybe at $1 a share. So I'll keep you guys posted because we may be marketing this vehicle.
All right.
I'd like to have thousands of fans all owning shares.
Right, and if you're a horror movie fan, what cooler thing to own part of a horror movie?
Perfect.
And people like to invest in something that's public, so they got a quote. It's registered shares. It's filed with the government, the SEC. There's a market to sell the shares if they want. They can buy any amount they want, 100 of them or 10,000.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to create that vehicle, and then we'll make it available to people, and we'll find a way to market it so they know how to contact us.
Keep us updated. We'll put the information up on the website, talk about it on the show and whatnot.
Well, great. Well, send me an email, Warrington at.
All right, we will. Anything you want to tell everybody out there why they should come to the horror cinema and meet you?
Well, if they like the genre, it'd be fun to meet some of the people behind it who made it all happen.
Right. And, there's other people from the Friday the 13th films. There's Jack Marks, who played Deputy Winslow in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh, good. Well, it all sounds great, and I guess we're fortunate we have a young guy, Tim Beal, putting it all together.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Okay, thanks for having me, Neil, Byron, Troy. Stay in
Always
touch,
a pleasure.
And you can send me an email, Warrington at
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is VC Dupree, Julius from Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. And you're listening to the hottest horror radio joint this side of Crystal Lake, Without Your Head Horror Radio.